Welcome back, beautiful souls. If you are here, if this video found you today, I want you to take a breath right now, because what Spirit has prepared for this reading is something that is going to hit deep. And I mean deep. The title of this reading brought you here for a reason. You didn't stumble onto this video by accident. The universe doesn't work like that, and I think somewhere in your soul, you already know that. So settle in, get comfortable, maybe grab a cup of tea or water, and let's get into what your person, and spirit, needs you to hear right now. Before we dive in, I just want to say, this is a collective reading, which means it won't resonate with everyone at the same level. Take what feels true for you and leave what doesn't. But if your heart is already starting to flutter, if something in your chest is already responding to being here, that's your confirmation. This is for you. Let's get into the cards. The first card that came out for you is called The Universe Moves, and the message here is so powerful I need you to really sit with it. Circumstances are being created for you. Stay open to how this unfolds. I want you to hear that again. Circumstances are being created for you. Not by you. Not by your person. By the universe itself. Here's what Spirit is showing me. There has been a period of waiting in your situation, and I know that waiting has not been easy. Maybe you've been wondering why things aren't moving faster. Maybe you've been questioning whether what you feel is even real, or whether you're just holding on to something that has already expired. Spirit is coming in right now to tell you, stop questioning the timeline. The universe is not slow. The universe is precise. And right now, behind the scenes, things are being arranged, people are being moved, emotions are being stirred, all in a way that is building towards something real between you and this person. What I want you to understand about this card is that the movement isn't always visible. You might not see your person making grand gestures right now. You might not have heard from them, or maybe the contact has been minimal and confusing. But Spirit is saying the internal movement, what is happening inside of them, is enormous. Circumstances that are creating shame, creating reflection, creating longing, those are already in motion. Stay open. That's the instruction. Not desperate, not grasping, just open. There is a difference between holding space for something and clinging to it, and Spirit is asking you to find that middle ground right now. Because what is coming toward you is already on its way, and the energy you bring to receiving it matters. The second card absolutely floored me when it came out, permanent. And the message is, not for a season, forever. Only you beside them always. Okay. I need you to understand the weight of what Spirit just said to you. There are people who come into our lives for chapters. They teach us things, they shake us open, they leave. And then there are people, rare people, who are written into the very fabric of who we are. Your person is not a chapter. Spirit is being incredibly direct here. This is not a temporary connection. This is not a situationship. This is not a right person, wrong time story that ends with you both going your separate ways. This is permanent. Now, why is this significant in the context of this reading? Because part of why your person is experiencing shame right now is because they know this too. On some level, conscious or not, they know that what they did, how they treated you, the extent of their disregard for your feelings, was done to someone they are meant to be beside forever. And that realization is crushing for them. Think about it this way. It's one thing to behave badly towards someone who passes through your life. It stings, but it's contained. It's a completely different experience to look back on your actions toward the person you know, in your soul, is your forever person. The shame compounds because the stakes are real. The love is real. And they threw it around carelessly, and they are only now beginning to reckon with what that means. Spirit wants you to hold this card as an anchor when doubt creeps in. When you wonder if this connection was ever real, come back to this, permanent. Not for a season. Forever. Now we move into first time, and this one is so beautiful, seeing your essence, completely new eyes. They are in awe of you. Something has shifted in how your person sees you. And I want to be precise about what spirit means here, because this isn't about them discovering something new about you. You haven't changed. You are who you've always been. What has changed is their capacity to see you clearly. There is a phenomenon that happens in relationships and connections where familiarity breeds a kind of blindness. We stop seeing people as they actually are and start seeing them through the lens of our own fears, our own wounds, our own assumptions. Your person was doing this with you. They were filtering you through their own damage, and as a result, they were underestimating you, overlooking you, taking for granted what was right in front of them. But something has happened, whether it was the separation, a specific moment, a conversation with someone else, a quiet night alone where the truth crept in, and suddenly they are seeing you as if for the very first time. Not the version of you their fear constructed. You. Your actual essence. Your depth, your loyalty, your love, your strength. And Spirit says they are in awe. This is where the shame deepens for them, because seeing you clearly now means seeing clearly what they risked. What they may have damaged. Who they were standing in front of and chose to look away from. Awe and shame are living inside them simultaneously right now, and that combination is extraordinarily humbling. For you, this card is a reminder, you don't need to shrink, you don't need to make yourself easier to digest, you don't need to be less so that they feel more comfortable. Your full self, your full, unfiltered, brilliant essence, is exactly what cracked them open. The shift. Something deep inside them changed. A quiet heart revolution begins. I love the word quiet here, because this is not a dramatic, explosive awakening. This is not your person suddenly arriving at your door with declarations. This is something slower and more profound, a revolution that starts in the deepest chamber of who they are. Something triggered this. Maybe it was losing access to you. Maybe it was watching life move forward without the connection they took for granted. Maybe it was a moment of brutal self-honesty that they couldn't avoid any longer. Whatever it was, it reached a part of them that their usual defenses couldn't protect, and it changed something that cannot be unchanged. This is important. When Spirit says revolution, they mean a fundamental reordering of priorities and values inside this person. This isn't them deciding to temporarily try harder. This is them arriving at a new understanding of what actually matters to them, and you are at the center of that understanding. The shift that happens quietly is always the most durable. Grand gestures fade. Loud declarations often come from ego. But a quiet revolution in someone's heart? That has roots. That lasts. And that is what is happening inside your person right now. Card 5, the Fortress, 13 to 1600 hours. The Fortress. Walls built high, love kept out. Now they are finally coming down. This card gives so much context to everything we've seen so far. Because here's the truth about your person that Spirit wants you to understand: so much of what hurt you was never actually about you. It was about these walls. Your person built a fortress around themselves, probably long before they ever met you. Built from old pain, old betrayal, old moments where they let someone in and got devastated for it. And so they armored up. They learned to keep love at a distance. They learned to sabotage, to withdraw, to disregard, not because they didn't feel anything, but because feeling everything terrified them. And you, with your love, your consistency, your essence that we talked about in that third card, you were knocking on a door they had decided never to open again. But the walls are coming down now. Not because they decided to be brave one morning. Because the cost of keeping them up has finally exceeded the comfort they provided. Because the separation, the shame, the seeing you clearly, all of it has done what months or years of you waiting patiently could not force. It has made them choose to let the fortress fall. This is a sacred moment in a person's journey. Don't underestimate what it means for someone who has been emotionally armored their entire life to begin dismantling those defenses. It is terrifying for them. It is vulnerable and raw and uncomfortable. And they are doing it anyway. That tells you everything about the magnitude of what they feel for you. And finally, the last card, which ties this entire reading together with a bow, self-reflection. Separation showed them who they were. They did not like it. This is the root of the shame mentioned in the title of this reading. This is the core wound that is driving everything else. Being without you, or being in reduced contact, or feeling the emotional distance that their actions created, forced your person to sit alone with themselves. And when they didn't find someone they were proud of. They found someone who had been careless with something precious. Someone who had let fear and ego and old patterns override their love for you. Someone who had, at times, treated you with a level of disregard that they would never want anyone to know about. And they had to look at that. No distractions, no you to redirect the dynamic, just them and the truth of who they had been in this connection. They did not like what they saw. This is not comfortable information for a person to sit with. Shame is one of the heaviest human emotions. It goes deeper than guilt. Guilt says I did something bad, but shame says I am something bad. And when someone you know is your forever person, when you've seen them with new eyes, when the fortress is coming down, the shame of having been who you were when you had the chance to be better is nearly unbearable. Spirit is not saying this to generate sympathy for someone who hurt you. Spirit is saying this so you understand the full picture. So that when they come back, and this reading is very clear that movement is happening, you are not confused about why they are humbled. Why they are different. Why the arrogance or the coldness or the walls seem to have softened. It's because this process of self-reflection broke something open inside of them that needed to be broken. So here is the full message of this reading, beautiful souls, the universe is moving circumstances into place for you. The connection is permanent. Your person is seeing you clearly for perhaps the first time. A quiet revolution is happening in their heart. Their walls are finally finally coming down. And the separation has shown them exactly who they were, and they are not okay with that version of themselves. This is not an ending. This is a reckoning, and a reckoning is always the thing that comes right before a return. Trust the process. Trust what you feel. And trust that what is permanent cannot be undone by what was temporary. I love you all so much. If this reading resonated, please like, subscribe, and share with someone who needed to hear this today. Until next time, take care of yourselves.